If someone was supposed to come over to you and say, by the way, I want to tell you something very strong, but don't get angry. Is that like a beginning of a flare? Yeah. All right, I'm about to do something right now, but don't get angry. You don't. What's going on? If you look in the pasuk, it says Yehuda comes to Yosef and he's telling him like this. Really, it says Vayigash Yehuda. It doesn't say to who, but yeah. Anyway, there's more insight for that. It says he tells him to Yosef. Yehuda is talking to Yosef, and he says, "Oh, by the way, al yichar apecha ba'avdecha. Don't get upset at me right now, and don't get angry at me." And then he starts talking. Like, what does it have to do with the conversation? So to this, you have to understand. A lot of people in life, they can, when there is a confusion, I should say. I don't want to say mahaloket, but when there is a confusion about something, and they have to work out something, a lot of times, if the other person you're talking to is flaring up and getting angry, the decision that's going to come out of that person that gets angry, it's coming out of more of anger and not from which is emotion, and not from sechel, not from your mind. So therefore, Yehuda is saying to Yosef, by the way, we're about to get this going. We're about to argue about something, but before I start arguing and everything like that, don't make your decision based on your anger. Al yichar apecha. Don't make your decision on your anger. And this is a very important lesson, because a lot of times, when a person gets angry, a lot of things he could lose in his life. I'll give you an example, and I think I said this last week about the person, how there used to be something called Be'er Miriam. And what's Be'er Miriam? It was a rock that in the desert, water would come out of this rock, and they would drink from the rock, from the midbar. Now, you have to understand, the Rabbi Yosef Palacci brings down Motzei Shabbat, Saturday night, a person should drink from well water, right? He says, because you never know, it could be you're drinking from the Be'er Miriam water. And if you get the Be'er Miriam water, it's a very big sgulot for the fu'ah, for all these major things. In any case, what happened was like this. There was one time a guy, Rabbi Yosef Palacci brings the story down. Listen to the story. There's one time a guy, his wife was late Saturday night. It was many years ago. His wife was late. Back in the day, didn't have faucet water. They had, so his wife is late, and he says, "Honey, where are you? Why are you so late? I come home from shul. I want to say Abdullah." Boom, and he spilled the water. You in the water? He spills the water. Now this guy had a skin disease, and he had a few things on his hands like blisters. The water fell on his hand. Immediately, instantly, the water healed all those blisters, and all the other water fell on the floor. But back in the day, they didn't have carpet or things like that. They had like dirt, so it all fell into the dirt. And this man got very upset. Now, even more upset that what my decision was wrong by acting like this. Why? Because I did this, I lost out. A lot of people, you have to understand, you have to make decisions with your sechel, with your mind, and not with emotions. You could put emotion into your mind, but it can't be based on emotion. You have to know what's right and what's wrong. And this is the lesson of Yehuda. Yehuda is telling us, we're about to argue. We're about to argue about something. But before we argue, let's get it straight. Don't get angry. Don't get hot-headed. Don't get crazy. Let's talk man to man, face to face, and don't get your emotions involved in the sechel. In the sechel, you got that? It's a very important point, because a lot of times a person makes decisions based on emotions and not what is right. What does the sechel say?